right, Spring, a little delayed version of Between the Pipes this evening after the Avs get a matinee victory over the Washington Capitals. Big time third period, a 3-point night from Nathan MacKinnon, and they break the Caps 5-2 coming off of a loss against the Nashville Predators. They needed this win. They needed this type of win. And the reason why we're doing this a little bit later as well, the big news yesterday, obviously, the Broncos coming away with a 3-point overtime victory in the divisional round over the Buffalo Bills. It's the reason why we had the Avs on AM 950 today. Well, we had to talk about the Broncos. We had to talk about that craziness that happened last night. However, on the ice today on the 200 by 85, the Avs, they bounced back in a real way. Scott Wedgwood looked good. They did not have Val Nichushkin, who it comes out was in a car accident earlier today, suffered minor injuries that did not allow him to play in the game. It seems as though, according to Jared Bednar, that's not super serious, but enough to keep him out of the lineup. The Avs deal with that. They win 5-2. That's exactly what they needed, Spring.
Maybe just more of a mental shock, too. You ever been in a car accident? Those things fucking suck.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I'm sure Val was just rattled nonetheless, or at the very least, as the lights just went off in here. This podcast studio I'm in. So I'm in the dark, baby.
Are they the overhead lights or are they the studio lights?
I don't know.
Are they the big square lights in front of you? Are those on?
Those are off.
Do you want to turn them on?
How do I turn them on?
Right in front of you, Spring. This is funny. Is I was a little bit, inside baseball here. In front of you, Spring, on the far wall is a power strip on the ground. Go turn the power strip on.
Oh shit. Okay.
Go. You'll see how great the lighting is. It's fantastic. As Spring goes to turn these studio lights on that we paid so much money for, and then he'll be back in focus. There's a little, there we go. We can see him light up. Just wait till you see how good Mark Springer looks when he sits down to do the rest of the show.
Oh wow!
Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're digging where there's taters.
Now I look sexy. Holy shit! Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it was, I agree. It was a mental reset, I think, not only for, Val to not have to play today. I think it was a mental reset for the Avs, right? You come off of a couple of games in which you did not play your best. You found a way to get a point against Toronto. You did not find a way to get anything against Nashville when you just didn't play well. It was simply not your best game. You're going to need one of those stinkers every now and again this season to kind of recenter this type of team. And I do think that you saw a full effort against a Washington team that's pretty solid. Like, would I be shocked if they came out of the East? Yes, but not more than, I don't know, 3-4 teams in the Eastern Conference. What I could see them, if it's not Tampa, if it's not Florida, if it's not Carolina, and it's Washington that comes out of the East, I could go, all right, I get it.
I mean, that's how it is in the East right now. Yeah, they're not great. No way they were going to lose 3 straight at home. I thought there was no way at this point, the way they've been playing, they'd lose 2 straight at home. Well, they did. No way 3 straight, right? So, yeah, you get right today. Huge Nathan MacKinnon game, 10 shots on goal. Holy crap. Big Cale Makar game. He should have had 2. And
yeah, do you want to talk about that goaltender interference? That's the play of the game.
Story of the game, even though it was inconsequential, and they ended up doubling their lead just a few moments later either way, but definitely the most talked about story after this game, because I don't know what the goaltender interference was. Did it exist? What was that one chick? That motherfucker's not real. Like,
I forget what her name was.
Tiffany Gomez.
Yes, that was it. Very good.
Yeah, that goaltender interference is not real. I mean, it wasn't there.
Yeah, it was bizarre. And unfortunately, it wipes away what was a straight up gorgeous goal. McKinnon's ability to wait out the defender instead of forcing a shot there. He realizes that Kale's going to activate on the far side, goes tape to tape, passes it through a defender's triangle. And you see Washington's goaltender, Charlie Lindgren, sorry, Ryan's brother, Charlie, throw his blocker at the puck. It was that bad. Goaltender interference needs to have some sort of common sense to it. The fact that the goaltender's knob gets a little bit dislodged by Marty Necas because he's being pushed into the goaltender. We need to use our heads. We need to use our heads and go, that's a hockey play. Sometimes a physical sport results in two bodies or a body and a stick physically colliding. In no world can we allow the goaltender just to live in this perfect cylinder where he cannot get touched. In no world should the goaltender be treated like NFL quarterbacks are treated, where they cannot be even flicked in the ear, smacked in the head just a little bit. The fact that you can't put your body weight on a quarterback when you're trying to tackle him in a tackle sport, we cannot have this game of hockey go that way. It was a joke.
Was there contact? Because, I'm producing Kreckman and Lindahl as I'm watching this, and I was actually in the studio during a commercial break, and at that moment watching, because I saw the goal, and I was like, oh, that's a good goal, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Charlie Lindgren, as he slides / dives, I mean, he's really just scrambling futilely because he's way beat. Like you said, it's a great pass high to low by McKinnon, and it's a great activation by McCarr. Lindgren has no shot, and so he sprawls, and his glove flies off. His blocker flies off, and I'm just like, that's hilarious. This dude, in his haste to try to make this unsavable save, flung both of his hand gear off. I got a kick out of that. And then I'm watching the replay on Andy's phone, and he's like, "Oh man, it's goaltender reviewing for goaltender interference." I'm like, "What? I didn't see anything." And you see Necas, at a moment or two, his foot's in the crease, but he makes sure to get out when he needs to, and he avoids Lindgren when he needs to. Was there contact at all? Was there any contact?
There was a very minimal amount of contact with Lindgren's knob of his goaltender stick and Necas's right hip. It was very minimal. It seemed as though Lindgren just dropped his stick because, again, he was pushing from right to left. I look at this play and I go, use your head. This has to be a common sense call, not only from the referees, but from the video review officials in New York, in Toronto, wherever they go these days. It has to be a common sense play. That did not affect whatsoever Lindgren's ability to go from right to left and stop that shot. Absolutely no reason why that thing should have been called back. Hats off to Spencer Carberry for calling the timeout and trying to figure it out. I think it was complete crap. Jared Bednar said as much in his post-game interview. He said, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't know what goaltender interference is. So we don't know what a catch is in the NFL. We don't know what goaltender interference is in the National Hockey League. I suppose we just have to be okay with it. And the fact that it happens in game 47 of the NHL, I'm okay with that, just so long as it doesn't happen in the playoffs and cost the Avs a chance at a Stanley Cup. I know it's probably how Buffalo Bills fans feel today, but that is the story of the game. The fact that goaltender interference was called, what makes me even happier? The Avs made sure the puck didn't lie.
Oh, sure. And I will say, we do know what a catch in the NFL is, and that was not a catch by Brandon Cooks. Goaltender interference is a very different story. And I saw Nathan McKinnon after the game. He was like, yeah, on the bench, Jared and Dave Hackstall, they're talking and they're like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way this is goaltender interference. But then Nate is like, yeah, they get it wrong every single time.
Yep.
Our coaching staff gets it wrong every single time. But seriously, okay, it has to there can be contact. It has to impede the goaltender's ability. That's the key. and that did not
Right.
affect Lindgren's ability to get over. His glove flies off, and I think he was just a mess in that moment. Nobody
He
touched
was.
his glove.
Yeah, there was no
That's on
chance
the
he was
other
making the
side of his
save.
body.
It sucked, man. It's such a shame that beautiful play is wiped off the board. But again, McKinnon makes sure it doesn't matter, right? They go out and they score 2 goals, bang bang, back to back. Dowd snaps his stick over the crossbar. They made sure that the referees, and my favorite part, it's the second time that Nate has done it this year. He turns around and he points emphatically at the net. That's a fucking goal. I dare you to review it. I love petty Nate McKinnon.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that dude keeps receipts. And man, yeah, he hates the refs. Let's be completely honest. Nathan McKinnon. There's been a couple times this year where Nate's just been like, "What? What is that?" Um, and I said Kale had 2 goals. No, it was Parker Kelly who tipped in that first shot from Kale. But an excellent Kale game, excellent Nate game. Nate just was very good. And they score on the power play. Nice little zone entry. McKinnon or Natchez to McKinnon. And hey, man, you talked about this earlier in the season, scoring on the entry, scoring on the rush, because they've had issues in the setup. So recently we had a Brock Nelson power play goal off a draw. We got a zone entry rush goal. They can't score in the setup. So when you can't score in the setup, those are the ways you got to get it done on the power play.
And it's funny because the power play, even when it was set up today, now that there were some of those rear your ugly head, they can't enter the zone and do anything. Like they'll gain the zone and they pull up 7 feet in. Again, I think it's nuts to me that they won't carry the puck in past the offensive hash mark. It's absolutely crazy. And that happened a couple of times in the Washington game this afternoon. I need that to stop. When they did get set up in the zone, Nate had 3 grade A scoring opportunities on the one-timer. Lindgren just made good freaking saves. So I thought the power play looked good today. Yes, they get a goal. I'm not allowing the rush goal to cloud my judgment on how I thought the power play looked. I thought it was solid. Nelson does not need to take that hooking call on the 5-on-3. The zone entry there was not good whatsoever. It's so funny. They used the double drop pass on 5-on-4. They won't use it on the 5-on-3. It makes no sense to me. It the double drop pass should work really well when there's only 3 defenders on the ice. Another weird thing that happened today, like John Carlson had to take a face-off.
Really? I missed that
On the
in my
on the
duties today.
5-on-3, whoever was killing today for Washington got booted
Oh,
out of the
wow.
face-off dot. John Carlson, the defenseman, had to come in and take a draw, and he looked like a giraffe on a pond, man. It was very funny. Good game for the Avs. I want to talk about some news that happened spring around the league, if you might indulge me.
Yeah, go for it.
Rasmus Anderson, arguably the number 1 defenseman on the trade board, is swapped from Calgary to Vegas. Vegas has traded all but 1 first-round pick in their existence. He goes to from Calgary to Vegas. Zach Whitecloud, a first-round draft pick, and a second-round draft pick, which has a condition that could move to a first if Vegas wins the Stanley Cup this year. That is your first big trade this season. The number 1 defenseman is off the board. Rasmus Anderson from Calgary to Vegas. And then shortly after that news drops, maybe the most intriguing guy who is on the forward board in terms of a middle 6 guy, our old friend Kiefer Sherwood, who a lot of people were mocking as like a lot of people were mocking Kiefer Sherwood as a first round grade in terms of it's going to take a first to get this type of guy. I thought it was kind of crazy. It ends up being this. The San Jose Sharks acquire Kiefer Sherwood from the Vancouver Canucks for a 2026 second round pick, a 2027 second round pick, and Cole Clayton, a defenseman prospect. I believe he was an undrafted free agent.
Okay, good for Kiefer Sherwood to get his value to that level. And we've seen him score against Colorado with the Canucks, and the player he's turned into. It's a real solid middle 6 guy, I'd say. In Vancouver, like it's rebuild time. So, in San Jose, being the team to acquire him. And the Sharks got a good win in Florida tonight. Had a goalie fight in that game.
Sick.
Yeah, man. That was a good one.
Sick. There's nothing better than a goalie fight.
Bobrovsky and Nedeljkovic, I believe it was, for San Jose getting at it. Bobrovsky went all the way down the ice. In San Jose, they're in it. They're buyers. The San Jose Sharks are buyers, at least for now. But yeah, I think they'll be in this thing. As far as the Rasmus Anderson trade, I saw the other night after a Flames home game, he was like shaking, they were kind of sending him off. Like they knew this was coming. Calgary's kind of somewhat gotten back into it, but no, they're not. I mean, best case scenario for them, they're an 8 seed, and we all know what that means. Especially if you're the Calgary Flames, that's not going to go well.
Daryl Sutter has some words for you there. It's going to be a waste of 8 days. The Rasmus Anderson trade, it's interesting, right? So they end up retaining $2.25 million, or just north of $2.25 million. That's the reason why there's probably the condition on that second round pick. I saw a comment saying it's amazing how Vegas keeps fleecing teams in their own division. I don't think this is a fleece. I think a first, a second, a legit NHL defenseman in Zach Whitecloud, and that's what he is. He's nothing to write home about, but he is a legit rosterable bottom pairing D-man in this league, and he's still under 30 years old, and he's under contract for another 5 seasons, maybe. Where is Whitecloud? Give me 1 second. Whitecloud is, another 2 seasons. He'll expire at age 31. Solid D-man. Again, nothing great, but solid. I don't think it's a fleecing. I think that is a proper price for Rasmus Anderson, who is an expiring contract this year, a first, a second with a condition on it, and a true NHL player. That's what I believe I would have traded for Rasmus Anderson. Now, the Avs don't need another offensive-minded right-handed shot on their team.
Yeah, and Vegas, they need to replace Pietrangelo, who's not only out for the year, but Raj, you were saying like his career could be over.
Pietrangelo's never played hockey again.
Yeah, but you needed to replace that defensive body, and that helps. And they've allowed a lot of goals this year. Vegas is, they're right there atop the Pacific. They just lost. This game just went final. Vegas loses at home 2-1 to the Flyers. So goal scoring more of their issue today, but it feels like they've allowed a lot of goals this year. Let me see how many goals Vegas has allowed this year. 145. Okay. It's not the 112 that the Avs have allowed. Not terrible. But yeah, they had won 7 straight, had Vegas, but yeah, needed to shore up that D-core, because if Petrangelo's career is over, you gotta, like, Shea Theodore's nice, but you need more bodies back there. If you're going to be matching up with McDavid, Draisaitl in the second round is likely, and then should you get to the conference finals, what the Avs throw out there, or even Dallas or Minnesota, yeah, Vegas is, they're one of the top teams in the league. They go all in, and speaking of the Flames and Rasmus Anderson, Calgary playing right now, they just tied their game up with New Jersey because Nazem Kadri just scored. Did you see this Darren Dreger?
Yes. Let us know. Let the people know, Spring.
That Nas is open to, why wouldn't he be open to going to a contender? And then the first team mentioned was Colorado, and the second team mentioned was Dallas. Do you trade for Nas just so he doesn't go to Dallas?
I mean, Dallas needs centerman, and they always want centerman. You know where Nas would be an amazing fit is if Minnesota could get him in there, because they don't have any centerman. He'd be fantastic here. It would be almost too much talent to put as your third line center, because he's not unseating Brock Nelson right now. Brock Nelson is too good. He is way better than what Naz is at this point. It would be amazing to have him here, but you need him at 50% retention, which is going to cost you at least another prospect, or at least another pick and a condition on top of that pick. He cannot land in the Central. He can't. So whatever you have to do to make that not happen, Naz can't come to the Central. It's just going to be very difficult to try and fit him in. Colorado has, let's see, their projected cap space right now. Projected cap space, Colorado has just under $1 million. Dallas has projected, where are the stars? They need to move money in terms of their projection right now.
Well, I was going to ask you, what's going on with Jason Robertson?
Great question.
He just
Great
switched
question.
He just switched agents. He's an RFA at the end of the season. They just paid Miko. It feels like they don't have room for Jason Robertson. Is it possible that they could move Robertson to the East? And then, oh boy, wouldn't that be funny if Jason Robertson came back to the West just a couple weeks later? To a team that maybe if Minnesota could go get Jason Robertson, that'd be hilarious.
I mean, if I'm Calgary Spring, if I'm Calgary Spring and I can't move or I can't keep Robertson, sorry, if I'm Calgary and I know Dallas can't keep Robertson, I don't know if there is a better trade chip that you could get back for Nazem Kadri than Jason Robertson.
Yeah, no, but he's like a win now player. It would be like when Calgary traded
Tkachuk and Huberdeau.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, Dallas, there wouldn't be a fear of sending Jason Robertson to the Flames because
no, but like Flames. Dallas gets significantly worse if they don't have Jason Robertson.
But if they can't, this is kind of what the Avs were dealing with last year with Mikko. Like, you're a contender, but you don't know if you can re-sign the guy in the offseason. So do you lose him for nothing? Or do you flip Robertson for whatever the Natchez equivalent
and hope that it works immediately?
Drury equivalent is, yeah.
And it didn't work immediately for Colorado, right? Like Brock Nelson was good, but he wasn't great, right? We remember at 5-on-5, that second line that Brock Nelson was a part of was the best second line, arguably in the playoffs in terms of their small data sample. They just couldn't score. Now it looks way better that he has time to move his family out and now he's comfortable with the system. You do run that risk if you're Dallas, if you move Robertson for a guy like Kadri, that it just simply doesn't work out. If I'm Calgary and someone puts on the table Jason Robertson and a pick, I'm making the trade to nil 100 times out of 100 because, well, there's no way that I can get over the top on a Jason. Jason Robertson's a legit player, man.
He's really good. Yeah.
He's
so then
really
if you're Calgary, you could just extend him to that big money deal. I wonder, does Jason Robertson get more than Mikko? Does he get more than 12? What Mikko get 12?
He can't.
Natchez got 11.5.
I could see him getting 11.
But you extend him to a big old, 7-year deal, whatever it is. Now all of a sudden,
yeah, remember the 8-year deals go away after this offseason. So if Robertson wants an 8-year deal, he has to be traded for and then agree to an extension with that team because this summer those deals go away.
Interesting. Maybe that's part of why he fired his agent and got a new one. Is it Mikko's agent too? I need to look into this. I saw something about I'll look this up, but either way, that could get Nas to Dallas if they did that.
Puckpedia has Dallas's projected trade deadline cap space at $3.2 million. They have Colorado at 3.6. So both teams would need 50% retention from Calgary and would have to move a little bit of salary as well to make that work.
Okay.
I don't know if I see Naz moving. I don't know, man. I guess Calgary's like making their bed as they move on from Anderson, but Anderson's a pending free agent. Like Naz is still under contract for a number of seasons.
That's almost why, they need to rebuild. Calgary, see, it's why I initially suggested Robertson going somewhere else, because if I'm Calgary, I want picks and prospects. They're that team. What Vancouver got for Quinn Hughes, what they got for Kiefer Sherwood,
It's not like Jason Robertson, an old dude, though. He's 26.
True, but you're still like a whole roster away. But
A
and
whole
the reason
roster,
I
right?
say
But a
it's,
whole roster away means what? 4 years?
if you're retaining salary on Kadri, you really are kind of saying like, hey, we're
We're
in
tearing it down.
Sucksville. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're in
we're
Sucksville
going for
here
Gavin McKenna
for a little bit. Yeah. But you know, they could take Robertson. You want to sell some tickets, you know, you want to have somebody. Either way though, I mean, it seems like it seems like Nas is going to get traded. Like, let's just say that. That's my pulse on this, is that Nas is getting traded. And Calgary will probably have to retain salary no matter where he goes.
2 of the top 3 guys on the Athletics trade board are gone now, right? So now Sherwood out, Anderson out, and your top players on the board are Artemi Panarin, Nazem Kadri, Dougie Hamilton, Luke Shen, Vinny Trocheck, Elias Pettersson, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Blake Coleman, another Flame, Steven Stamkos. Those are your top 10.
By the way, okay, and this is what I thought it was. Robertson signed with Mikko's agent.
11. Someone gives him 11. He's not quite Mikko. 11 over 8 years sounds perfect to me.
Okay, Mikko's agent's name is Andy Scott. He now represents Jason Robertson as well. And you saw what Mr. Andy Scott did.
Fucking rat.
What Andy Scott put in Mikko's brain, you know. So
Octagon Sports, baby.
And I wonder if they had a conversation like and Mikko was like, yo, you should get with my dude, which would hurt his own team. Because Andy Scott is going to try to squeeze every last freaking penny out of
before he knows that Jason Robertson lands in Columbus.
Exactly. Until Columbus won't meet Andy Scott's number. And then now Jason Robertson's, maybe he'll be on the Avs. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, man, it's Jason Robertson would look great in an Avs uniform, but they can't afford him.
Well, he's an RFA. Well, you could, if Dallas trades him to the East, the Avs could just say, fuck it. We'll take 1 year of Jason Robertson. We'll take half a year, not even half, 4 months of Jason.
Yeah, but
Robertson.
what can you trade for him? Ilya Nabokov and a first.
Nabokov.
I don't even know if Nabokov and a first is enough.
Well,
that dude's a stud.
If Jason, what did the Hurricanes get for Mikko? Stankoven and some picks?
I think they got Stankoven and a first and another pick, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so now the Avs Stankoven would be like Gavin Brindley.
No, Stankoven's a way more established player than Brindley.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of like on the NHL roster and young with upside.
Okay, the Canes got Stankoven, 2 firsts, and 2 thirds.
That's still
the Avs don't have that. They don't have that ammunition.
I mean, it would be hilarious if Jason Robertson was the Mikko of this year and he ended up on Colorado.
Now, if Marty Necas hadn't signed, I would go, maybe we do it now. Because that's kind of the situation that Dallas was in. It was like, well, we kind of know that we're not going to sign Jason Robertson if we can get Mikko Rantanen. But that now goes out the window because Necas is such a wonderful fit with Nathan MacKinnon. I just thought it was interesting. I thought 2 of the top 3 trade chips coming off the board in the same day was an interesting thing happening at the end of January.
100%. Yeah. Well, you know, I think maybe it's, happening a little earlier. Well, first there's the Olympic, maybe the Olympic break kind of plays into some of this. Like there would be like a mad dash after the Olympics. And also with Colorado running away with this thing, that's another added sense of urgency that, and look at you want to get that chemistry going ASAP.
Good point.
Yeah. And you saw how that affected the Avs last year. Hell, it affected Dallas. They lost in the conference finals, right? So, the Miko thing didn't click right away, even though there were good moments.
The Miko thing clicked for like 4 games.
For 4 games.
It really clicked for 4 games, and then he just went AWOL.
Yep.
All right, Spring. I think that's basically the only thing I really wanted to talk about today. I thought the Avs bounced back. I thought the goaltender interference call was crazy. And then I really just wanted to touch on the couple of trades that happened today before the Avs get back on the ice. And I think the Hoosiers are running away at the national championship game, right? They're up 10. They're the better team. They'll go down as one of the most dominant teams in the history of college football, which is crazy when you're talking about the Indiana Hoosiers in the sport of football.
16-0. I think are they moving to 16-0 tonight?
16-0.
And Mercury Morris and the Miami Dolphins. That's a completely different league, but watch out.
Watch out is right. All right, Spring. Avs and Ducks on Wednesday evening. Avs are 34-5-8, looking for their 35th victory of the year. I expect it to be another fun one. That should be a relatively high-scoring game. I just have a feeling it's going to be. Anaheim's a fun team to watch. Quenneville's got them well coached. Now they have taken a little bit of a step back after a torrid start. They're just 3 games above 500 right now, but it's not going to be a walkover, right? This will be a difficult game for the Avs. Looking forward to that thing on Wednesday. We'll be live around 10 p.m.
Yeah, and let's see. Leo Carlson's out with a thigh injury. Wonder what his status is. 3 to 5 weeks. Okay, so no Leo Carlson.
It makes it easier.
It makes it way. He's their best player. He's amazing.
He's so
young.
Good.
He's so good. And I thought, yeah, man. And when I had Anaheim as the toughest team on this homestand, turns out Nashville. Look, there's veteran players who have had success in this league, but especially without Carlson, that changes the Ducks tremendously. So that really should be 2 points. Those still they're naive enough to think they can come and get it done with some talent nonetheless, but no Leo Carlson, no excuse. Like, you got to go get 2 points.
We are giving away tickets so that you guys can go see that game on Wednesday all day tomorrow on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. It's an Avs Ticket Tuesday presented by our friends at Papa Murphy's. That starts as early as 6 a.m. Listen on the 20s for your keywords. We're giving away 5 pairs of Avs and Ducks tickets for this Wednesday's game. If you guys want to get inside Ball Arena, listen all day tomorrow to Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Your final chance to win those tickets will be on the show that Mark Springer produces. That's Kreckman and Lindahl from 3 to 6 p.m. But that'll do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for waiting until 8 p.m. I know it was a matinee game, but Spring and I, we're not going to jump over the Broncos festivities. A little bit of a wait. We had some NHL news that we could react to as well, but we will be back 10 p.m. for a Between the Pipes after the Avs take on the Anaheim Ducks. For Spring, I'm Raj. See you guys later. Avs back in the win column.